Hello and welcome to the virtual World Center of Racing. You join us here at Daytona for the season kickoff of the THDesigns Arca series. 70 laps, 150 miles around this historic track. And you might hear some engines firing up there as we get ready for qualifying to kick off the season. And I know these drivers are hurting. The famous, or infamous if you prefer, Brett Bullard, man of fantastic strategy and winning race moves, as you started this series within this year, I believe. I think we've done one of these. Update on these ARC cars very recently to make them a lot. You're going to see a lot of interesting handling here at Daytona. A lot of cars bouncing around, hopping all over the track. A lot of pushing and shoving, and they don't like going past that point. So I expect we're going to see some action tonight as a second lap, and try to get as much speed out of this car as they can in the first lap. Of course, these cars will be running with Sir Zach Woods across the line there, looking like he's third at the moment. Eddie Baker, of course, put on quite a show in last night's race at IRP. Starts out in the league, dropping down here. Time pretty close to one for him. Good race for Nolan. Scott Milliken, competitive last night in the Tier 1 Truck Series. Justin Evans there in that, and shut that engine off. Looking like sixth place for him at the moment. 51-1, very respectable time. Really impressive there, that Nolan Milnes time. You're going to see a lot of these times really close together. It's just minute little wiggles of the wheel that make all the difference in qualifying here. And that is going to be your starting lineup for this race. Nolan Milnes takes the top spot. Eddie Baker held on for second there. They'll be your front row to open up the THDesigns Arca series. Of course, we've got Alex Princeton, Justin Sumner, Scott Milliken rounding out the top five. And I think we'll bring in our in-race reporter for this race, qualified P7 on the night. Let's bring Matt Erickson in here. If I can find the right button. Matt, this is not Clint Boyer, and this is not the Fox Sports booth. Do you have a copy?
Good thing. Yes, I got a copy.
Well, you put together a pretty decent time there. Looks like you're going to be starting about row 4, I think it is. How you feeling in the season kickoff?
Well, it is Daytona, so I always feel a little bit more comfortable there. These cars are a little bit different to handle, so they kind of bounce around and jump around a lot. But no, I feel like we got a fast Tier 1 setup shop Ford Mustang, and I think we're going to do whatever we can to keep it up front and be there at the end.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Of course, there's two usual strategies to any super speedway race. There's try to lead every lap, or sit at the back and kind of wait for everybody to hopefully take themselves out. Of course, you're a previous winner here at Daytona in the Tier 1 Series, so what's your strategy going into this one?
Yeah, it's kind of a wait and see. You know, it depends how racy some of these guys. A little too crazy, I'll back out and ride it out and get up to the front again towards the end. Otherwise, if we can get up front and stay up front, best place to be, I think. So we'll just have to wait and see how it kind of shakes out in a couple laps.
All right, I like it. We'll get that 28 car out in the wind for us, and make sure that you're there for halftime, because we don't want to interview a wrecked race car driver.
I hope not. I appreciate it, and good luck on your broadcast.
Well, that shows where I'm looking. Well, a little pit entry practice, always a good idea. They are getting a little pit entry practice here. Good time to practice drafting. Good time to practice bump drafting, too, because nobody's going to be mad if you wreck them here in warm-up. So take those last couple seconds, settle in, pull your metaphorical belts tight, and get ready to go here. Gary Smith, newcomer to the ARCA series here, riding behind Scott Milliken. Looking forward to seeing those guys draft their way through. As the checkered flag falls on the warm-up, and hearts beat as we get ready for the season opener here at Daytona. Can't wait to bring you all the season action here as we look up to our starting lineup. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Nolan Milnes and Eddie Baker going to take up the front row positions. Alex Prinzen in that 19 car and Justin Sumner in second row. Third row, Scott Milliken, Justin Evans in that 46 car. Our in-race reporter tonight starting P7 on the field in that 28 car, Matt Erickson. Next to him, a seasoned champion and my counterpart here at Tier 1 Studio, that's Zach Woods, lining up P8 in that 6 car. Zach always had a good paint job to show off to. We'll look forward to that in this race. Chris Lunsford in the 37 car starting 9th. Gary Smith in the 97 car starting 10th. 11th is Ken Ron in the 33. And forgive me, I'm not Canadian. If I mispronounce this one, I'll have to message him after the race. Turcotte Luca? I'm going to go with, we're going to call you Luca because we know about that guy here in Texas. Looks like P13 on the field. Blair, another Canadian, in Vaden, Florida. We got Greg Wood Jr., last night's winner in the Tier 1 Truck Series, starting 14th on the field. I don't expect him to keep that 67 car back there for very long. We'll be watching him tonight. Bill Sleep racing, but not asleep at the wheel in that 65 car, starting P15. He'll be a threat. He always does a good job racing clean, and got to give Bill a lot of credit there. He seems to be around at the end of these things a lot more often than not. As the pace cars lights go off and we come around the back stretch here, Matt Metler and looks like Adrian Torres going to round out the field there in 17th and 18th. 18 car field, a really good size for a race at Daytona here. Not too much, not too little. You get these big 40 car fields and sometimes you get a whole lot of wrecks before you get it all straightened out. But 18 car field would be just about right, I'd say, for this one. Shout out to Eddie Baker there in that Bobby Labonte paint scheme on the outside row. That's a paint scheme that I'm very familiar with seeing up there at the front of these races. We'll see if he can keep that thing out in the wind tonight. As we come around turn 4, it's a packed house here at the World Center of Racing. As the pace car gets ready to dive down into the pits, as you see him do there. The start is on the number 1 car at pole, Nolan Milnes. Flag man drops the green flag, and we are racing for the THDesigns Arca Series presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. And a pretty clean way to start the race out. Nobody's really pushing and shoving so far. Everybody pretty tentative. It's a brand new season. Some guys are familiar with this car, some aren't. Alex Prinzen in that 19 car. He basically is going to control how well Nolan can do down the backstretch here. As you see Eddie Baker and Justin Sumner, two guys very familiar competing against each other in the Tier 1 Truck Series. On the outside row, Eddie Baker going to drop down and block that front row here. He'll get a run out of this corner and onto the front stretch. Sometimes you'll see that lead car bounce between lines and hop up to the top side. Looks like he kind of thought about it there. Going to wind up staying down, and you'll see Justin Sumner take the lead with a big push there from Justin Evans. Justin looks to the outside. Could just be, you see a lot of these cars bouncing around. They don't like to go straight, and they barely even like to turn. So you're going to see a lot of that all night. You see that outside line trying to get organized, just moving around a little too much to stay on pace with the bottom line here, and bottom line's going to prevail for the moment as Eddie Baker retakes that lead. We will have a halfway break here. Of course, 70 laps, 150 miles around the famed Daytona International Raceway. So we'll have a halfway break around lap 45 here. Until then, are these guys content to ride, or do they want to lead? You're going to save a lot of fuel there if you're, say, second, third, fourth on back in line. But I can't say I blame Eddie Baker for wanting to keep the nose in the wind and try to keep control of this race. As you see, the one car jump to the outside. Nolan Milne's got a good run. And he takes the lead going into turn 3. And jumps down in front of that 84 car there. Almost called him the 18 car. In front of the 84 car. As you see Eddie Baker take a look back to the outside. Where's the 19 go? 19 stays in line on the bottom. Sumner going to pull back up outside. And I tell you what, that is, if they can keep that line going on the outside there, 84, 94, 46, 6, a lot of strong pushers there in that outside line as they stay neck and neck out of turn 2 with Nolan Milnes and Alex Princeton down there on the bottom side. Scott Milliken kind of holding serve there about 3 rows back on the bottom. Our in-race reporter, Matt Erickson, is there. As we get a look at the infield, not a bad place to take in the race. And cross the line this time. Nolan Milnes will take the lead for that lap. As Eddie Baker looks to retake it here in turn 1. And you see Justin Sumner, he wants to push him just a little bit more, but still got to be a little tentative, got to be careful. A push gone wrong in the turns here, especially up on the high side, could turn that lead car back down in front of traffic and just wipe out the whole field. And I believe no fast repairs for this season. Of course, the wizard behind the curtain will correct me if I'm wrong. He says I'm not. No fast repairs in this race, no fast repairs for the entire season. So every move counts. Every move is paramount here. And as many a driver has discovered, as the 94 dives down to fall the 84 down low, 46 Justin Evans hung out to dry on the outside. He'll be looking to get help from Zach Woods and the rest of that line behind as they get to the back stretch here. But we've discovered many times the pit crew, they don't always think about aerodynamics when they repair these cars, so it's important to keep them pristine as long as you can. As you see the 46 get that run on the backstretch, you see that a lot here. In the turns, shortest distance around the track generally prevails, not always. But you see that bottom line do well in the turns, get to the front stretch, the back stretch, and then the outside will usually surge forward and catch up if the lines are equal. Of course, it all comes down to a draft here. And if you've ever seen, oh, and there's a crash. 2 cars stopped in the track. Try to get eyes on who that was as we go back through our replay here. Looks like it's, oh yeah, 97. Just had to check up hard there. Gary Smith, and nowhere for the 33 Kinron to go there. And that's the result of a big stack up at the front. Like I was just talking about, cars getting a big run on another. Bottom lane surges, top lane surges. Sometimes you get a big run from a few rows back there like the 97 did. Nowhere to go. Not his fault, not anybody's fault, really. Just accordion on him. That's the nature of super speedway racing these days. And nowhere is that more evident than here at Daytona International Raceway. As we jump to the leader of this race now, our own Zach Woods, the pride of Northumberland, Pennsylvania, racing in that beautiful For His Glory Christian iRacers number 6 car, as he looks to come up and give our pace car driver a little reminder he's there. I think any iRacer will tell you who's been doing it for very long, especially in these oval races. That pace car, though he be transparent and ghost-like, you might say, that pace car can zip in and out of cars on the track. Doesn't stop him from scaring the absolute daylights out of you sometime whenever he flies out onto the track. from pit road. I've muttered some four-letter words more than once, being scared by a pace car. As Zach Woods looks to come down, will he bring the rest of the field with him? It looks like he will. We'll see if these drivers take tires. Generally, tires don't matter a whole lot here at Daytona, but these ARCA cars, again, it's a new car, or fairly new at least. Still some unknowns. We'll see what everybody does as far as tires, or if they just top up with fuel here. And again, that kind of comes back to your philosophy on where you want to run this race too. As you see Eddie Baker and Greg Wood jump out here to the lead. These two guys, they want to control the race. They want to be out front. They don't want to sit there in the back. They don't want to have to dodge wrecks. Whereas maybe you do take tires here if you're a little bit more concerned about, okay, maybe I'm not going to go all the way to the front. I might be stuck mid-pack. Maybe I just want to hang out and ride around in the back of this thing. Again, this race is far from over. 70-lap race here tonight, and we're only on lap number 9. And already a caution, again, nobody's fault, just from the accordion effect. So might pay to just top up with fuel, maybe take some tires if you're that concerned about it, but just hang out in the back there. Of course, this race here at Daytona tonight, only the first of a 10-race schedule, broadcasted by myself and Zach Woods. It's just too much. No, Zach is not broadcasting this one. The wizard behind the curtain tells me. Who's broadcasting this one, wizard? Oh, we're going to have Matt Metler in the booth. Welcome, Matt. That's going to be fun. He'll be broadcasting that race next week at USA. Of course, a little bit of short track racing on a July night. That'll always be interesting. I'm kind of wondering how I got this broadcast that Matt gets to broadcast USA next week, and I'm going to be running down in the trenches with the dogfight that is sure to be USA. But that's neither here nor there. It'll definitely be an exciting show. I can be sure of that. Charlotte coming up on July 22nd, 29th. One of my favorite tracks, Myrtle Beach. Tons and tons of character at that track. You never know quite what you're going to get. Kind of races like a short track, but it's sort of a Richmond length. Reminds me a lot of the old Nazareth Speedway, if you were a fan of that speedway. Unfortunately, we don't have that in iRacing, but Myrtle Beach is always a whole lot of fun. Phoenix going to be coming up on August 5th. And then we're going to go to my hometown track on August 12th there, Texas Motor Speedway. Richmond on August 19th. We'll be back with this super speedway package at Talladega on August 26th. And I know some guys looking forward to the road course at Watkins Glen there. That'll be coming up on September 9th. And then we'll wrap up the whole THDesigns Arca series schedule September 16th. At what has quickly become one of the most exciting venues in pavement oval track racing there at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Wes Fuller make an appearance in the chat for that one. Should be a fun race. Promises to be a fun season, and as you can already see just by watching the scoring ticker here, what a stacked field we've got lined up for this season. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. As we come onto the front stretch, lights are off on the pace car. Flagman has the green flag in his hand as the pace car dives inside, and it's on Eddie Baker to take the green, and there he goes. As we cross the line, 11 laps of 70 on the board right now, and a long way to go as we see a really spread out restart here. And you see the one side draft a little bit. Eddie Baker doesn't have any help on the bottom side. Nolan's got that 17 car coming up. Blair with the 19 in tow, and they're just going to hang Eddie Baker out to dry here on that top lane. Look at that. Scott Milliken jumping outside. Everybody jumping outside, it seems like. As we look at our first three-wide action for the lead, what a move. Alex Prinzen to the lead. As the 17 and the 1 stall out, and you see Scott Milliken, Christopher Lunsford jump the inside here. Eddie Baker side draft in the 37, and what I think you just saw there, as Baker makes a great move to jump down into third, is something I experienced the last time I ran these at a super speedway. The side draft is so unpredictable in these cars, especially if you're used to racing the Cup Series or the trucks. The side draft will just suck two cars right into each other, and you feel like you're turning away from the side draft, and that air just keeps forcing the two cars together. Got to be really, really careful with side drafting in these cars. Not to mention the net code that inherently is prone to becoming a problem in iRacing. Haven't seen it as bad, I think, with the Season 3 update as maybe we saw in Season 2, but it's still a young season here in iRacing. As we see Eddie Baker kind of make a business decision there to stay up in the top side. Mike could have jumped down in front of the 19, but probably wasn't quite clear enough. It might have wound up going bad as we go to the gopher camera there. And that 84, I think I may have been calling him the 18 again. It looks so much like a Bobby Labonte paint scheme. I love it. So sorry, Eddie, if I call you the 18 all season long. As he does finally jump to the inside here with a big push from Christopher Lunsford. Lunsford's been a big pusher so far in this race. Somebody I wouldn't be surprised to see up here at the finish as he dives to the outside, trying to take that run from the 1, but the 1 jumps back to the inside. And the 37 is hung out to dry. One car pushing the 84 with help again from Alex Prinzen, a guy who's been up front all race long so far. As we look on back here in the field, looks like we're single file on back to about 8th position maybe. And we got one off pace at the back here. That looks like Justin Evans. 46 car has been really strong all race long. Not sure what happened to him. Of course, really early still in this race. Don't believe we have anybody one lap down yet. So worst case scenario, if he does go a lap down, should be able to get the free pass here if he has to. The next caution, whether that be at halfway in this race, lap 35, or before then. Personally, I'd bet on a caution before then. I don't want to jinx it though. As we see guys kind of starting to stretch out here. Still a really good push down the back stretch from that one car to the back of the 84. He's not saving fuel right now. But it can be awfully advantageous to push hard here early on after a caution. Try to stretch this field out. Save a little fuel. It's a lot easier to save fuel when you're single file than it is side by side. As we see the 17, Blair's jumping out to the outside there. The one car's thinking about it in the tri-oval. He does jump to the outside. Oh, that's Milliken, not the 17. That's Milliken in the 3 car to the outside. He joins up with the 1. Got a good push on that outside row, and the 1 car retakes the lead. As we see Luca in that 36 car, he was kind of hanging back early in this race. Not so much anymore. He wants a piece of this action as they ditch the 1 car. Milliken jumps to the inside, and it's the 3 and the 36 out in the wind. How about that? The Earnhardt 3 followed by a Wrangler car. Oh, as he gets a big shove from the 84. Down below the yellow line. Of course, that's not out of bounds if you get pushed there. And the 36 has just been hung out to dry from the penthouse to the outhouse, as DW would say. And he'll try to blend in here on that top side. And will do so successfully. Scott Milliken still leading the bottom line. That 19 car has been a good pusher so far in this race. And they will hold the lead into turn 3 here. As you see Eddie Baker getting a little braver. Just a lap at a time with that side draft. Gotta be careful, but it sure can be advantageous if you do it right. And I'm going to go in turn 1 here. One car peeking down to the inside a little bit there. But that's the thing with these dark cars. Sometimes you can't quite push as hard as you want to for as long as you want to. These cars have been known to overheat once in a while, so it's something to keep in mind as you see that tandem between the 19 and the 3 car there. What a push. I think Alex Princeton may be shaping up to be the best push car so far in this race. Early on as it is here on lap 18 as they come off of turn 4. Which line prevails? Side drafting cars bouncing all over the place. Everybody just trying to keep it straight on the ragged edge for every lap of this race. As we are neck and neck, still side by side at the front row. Nobody prevailing yet. Maybe now if we see the 19 get a big run off of turn 2, it's going to be a while before the 1 gets to the 84, but it gets the 3. A little bit unhappy there. Couldn't quite stay in line, and you definitely don't want to push off center in these cars. Boy, that 19 is pushing through the turns already in this race. He wants to keep his line out front in control of this race. As we cross the line, Milliken again going to get credit for leading that lap. 84 here, Eddie Baker going to wait on help for the 1 car again as they enter down into turn 2. You see that top line only got about 5 cars lined up there. Everybody else kind of past 10th, pretty content to sit back there and ride in line until we get to the end of this stage. Stage, of course, in these races in the THDesigns Arca series going to be halfway. Eddie Baker with a nice run down the backstretch. Good push again from Nolan Mills as he dives down to take the lead on the bottom line and try to control this. And there's a wreck. We've got a crash in the tri-oval. Oh, big crash. A lot of cars involved. 7, 8 cars all in it. The tri-oval so dangerous at this track. And it looked like it happened towards the back there. Let's see. And there's that side draft. There's that side draft. You see how it just sucked the 33 car right into the outside there. Wow. And just nowhere for anybody to go as they pile into this wreck. I'm telling you, that's so weird a sensation. It's not something you're used to at all in these cars. If you're side drafting, you expect to keep going. You're, say, a foot away from the other car, maybe even 2 feet away from the other car. You expect for the cars just to keep going on the straight trajectory, but that air just sucks them together, as you'll see it happen again here. I mean, nothing malicious, obviously, from this black car here. I think that's Thomas Adams, maybe. Oh, no, that's 16. That's Adrian Torres. Yeah, nothing at all malicious there. Just that's the side draft gone wrong here in these cars, and I can't really adequately describe how weird that is. As you're watching from Thomas Adams' view here, does a good job dodging the first. His teammate there in that 28 car, and then you got a zig or zag, and he zagged, and just nowhere to go there. Piles in. Of course, the brake's not the strongest in these Arca cars, thus the popular term Arca braking. And when you're flying around here at 180, 190 miles an hour, it's just all you can do to get woed up, and a lot of times more than you can do in a situation like that. Eddie Baker looks like he's going to be the first car to take tires off of pit road. Top 8. Looked like they weren't interested as we come to... Not sure if this is going to wind up being the stage, what lap we're on here. Now, looks like we're on lap 22 right now, so still got a ways to go to stage. Now's a good time to come in and top off of fuel, maybe take some tires, see where your tires are at the very least. A lot of guys, of course, after that wreck, still in the pits. Looks like we got Thomas Adams, Adrian Torres, Matt Metler, Gary Smith, Ken Ron, Bill Sleep, all were involved in that wreck. Again, no fast repairs here in the THDesigns Arca racing series, and so going to get as much damage patched up as they can here. Hopefully not too bad. It was just one of those glancing blows. A lot of these cars will be able to get all of this damage patched up, or at least the majority of it, and to get back in this race without too much trouble. Of course, stage break coming up here pretty soon. Got a few laps to go to run here, and then we'll get us another caution and be able to repair again. Unfortunately, Thomas Adams, you saw nowhere to go in that heavy front end collision, and no way that thing was going to be able to draft like that. So Thomas going to be there for a little while getting some repairs done. Hopefully it'll be able to come out, stay in the draft, maybe get him a free pass here. That's kind of the thought behind that for himself. And looks like Matt Metler's still in the pits. Ken Ron's going to be in the pits. Bill Sleep still in the pits. As the 3-car, Scott Milliken maintains the racing lead here in the season opener. Hey, if you're a streamer, league owner, or broadcaster in the iRacing world, you might want to earn a little money while giving your community a real benefit. You can join the Tier 1 Setup Shop sponsorship program today. Give you a custom promo code that gives your viewers or drivers 10% off for every setup they buy, excluding subscriptions, and for every setup sold using your code, you get $1, and that's real money in your pocket just for promoting something that your audience, they already need. So whether you're iRacing, commentating, building a league, it's a no-brainer way to support your content and grow with us. Visit tier1setupshop.com or just message us in the Discord here to get started. That incident happened a little further back in the field, so you don't see a huge shakeup in the top 10 here as that pace car gets ready to come to green. And he takes the hard left, the green flag in the flagman's hand as we come to the Geico restart zone, and it's on Scott Milliken as he mashes the loud pedal and takes off. Man, jumped the restart a little bit more than the 19 there Alex Princeton was expecting, and you're going to see the result. All 3 of those top cars getting a huge run going into turn 1. And they're going to dive down to the inside. Our in-race reporter there, Matt Erickson, taking it high, wide, and handsome. He's going to be the second car in line here, looking to pick up the one. Oh, a little bit sideways there for Blair. These cars are just so much more sensitive than they look like they ought to be. And it makes it a whole lot more exciting to watch up here in the booth. As you see Milliken hanging in line there. The 19 is going to jump up to the outside. Milliken had the choice. Clearly thinks that bottom line is going to prevail as the 1 car jumps up to the high side. And now making Milliken look pretty smart. He's going to push Greg Wood out to the lead here. Side by side with the 1 car. How long does it last? The bottom side going to get the run. through the turn, but the top side now, if they can stay organized, you'll see them surge forward. 1, 19, 17, 28, 94, 36, and now 6 all lined up on the outside of the track there. And they're hanging tough here through turn 3. Going to be a toss-up to see who gets it at the line. And it's going to be the 1 car that lap. Unfortunately, lap 25 doesn't pay. Got to be around lap 70. You will get points here at the stage break here. Lap 35 of this race. Oh, somebody's in the wall there. 36. Skimming along the wall. Doesn't look like he did too much damage to the outside of that car. As you can see, the back end still looking good. You do have to be super, super careful with the outside rear of these cars. Lean on that, just the right there at the back as he kind of scrapes it again there. Right there on that right rear corner gives you so much more downforce or side force than you think. It's amazing how much grip you can generate just from that little corner on the right rear. And what it feels like when it gets damaged and it's gone. As you see Greg Wood getting way out front, a car length or 2 lead. Does he stay at the bottom? Does he go high? He's going to stay at the bottom. As he gets a little push there from Milliken. And I think respect from Greg Woods there on Milliken and how good he's been up at the front of this race so far. Just kind of biding his time, making smart moves, not jumping around too much. And Greg Wood will lead that lap. Whole lot of moving and shaking going on here. As you see the 9 car coming back out on track. Matt Mettler going to rejoin the field with a wounded, but not quite as wounded. No, that's still a pretty wounded car, Matt. That's that. Wow. I wonder if we can get an in-car camera here, if we can look at Matt's cockpit view here and see just what that looks like. Look at that wheel. Just turned to the side. Matt is just hanging on for dear life in that thing. Might be an advantage, really, if he was skewed off to the other side a little bit, but it's going to be hard to keep pace in that car. That's going to be rough for him. Be interested to see if he brings it back down or if he hangs on to the end of this first half of the race. As you see the 17R on the outside. Blair getting the push from Matt Erickson in that top lane, our in-race reporter. Good job, Matt. We needed some good content here from our in-race reporter in this race. As he rides behind that 17, he's going to stay in line here. 94 staying in line with him, 36 outside of the 1. We'll see if that bottom lane, you would expect him to surge a little bit, and he does in that 1 car. Looks like he's going to pull up alongside Matt maybe here, but the outside surges back off. You get such a run on that top side coming out of turn 4, and a little bit of the same coming out of turn 2. And they will stay well ahead of that bottom line. Bottom line really having a hard time getting help right now. Whatever reason, a lot of these guys like on the top side, the 167, 3, 84, and 6. Kind of the only cars left that are running that bottom. You see the 84 get just a little bobble as he came out of frame there on the 3 car. It's just so hard to know how much to push to deal with the runs, and he's going to take it 3 wide. Eddie Baker says no more. We're going to the front. You see Greg Woods jump up to get in his way, block that middle line. The 1 car doing the same. He's going to follow his pusher here as they go into turn 1 and 2. 3 wide. Make it, no, almost 4 wide. That's not going to work very well here at Daytona, and you see Eddie think better of it. He's going to jump to the top side, and now Greg Wood is in the sucker hole. He's going to have to jump to the outside. salvage what position he has left and try to make another run as his teammate Zach Woods jumps up there to help him. 17 car maintaining the lead here, but a good move by the 36 as he goes low. He's going to get a push on exit from the 1 car. 28, 94, 84 high there. Zach Woods, Mr. Excitement there, making it 3 wide. The 1's going to back up to him. 94 jumping down low, 28 jumping down low. They're going to hang the 17 car out. And new leader, your in-race reporter. We talked about it early on. He knows how to get it done here. Matt Erickson to the lead, getting a push from that 94 car. And they are all over the place here. It doesn't look like it's 4 to go to stage. It looks like it's 1 to go. And these guys are just hopping and moving all over the place. Wild moves being made early in this race. You see the 84 try to side draft the 3 there, and you see the advantage. You saw just how much it sucked the 3 car back, and then it hangs the 36 car out to dry because he doesn't have any help from the 3 car because the 3 car got drugged back. Excellent move there from the 84 car as he's going to dive down to the inside, and it's going to be Greg and Zach, the Woods brothers, on the outside there, as they retake the lead. And another car skimming the outside there as they go 3 wide on exit of 2. No harm, no foul there in the 17 car as they try to get it all sorted out. Going to see a big run from the 84. He lifts going into turn 3. Going to try to be real gentle on the bumper of that 19 car. That's where you want to give him a push. That's as far off center as you can go, and it better to be to the right side, and it didn't work. Exit of 4. And the 19 car gets pushed around by the 84 Eddie Baker. And we're going to see it all right here in the Tier 1 studio replay. Oh, yeah, just a push. That is the worst possible place on track. Golly, and that's a hard lick to the backside of that car. That's going to require some extensive repairs to the back of that 19 car. I can't, if you haven't raced in these cars in iRacing or presumably real life, I've never run real life at Daytona, but the car gets so light out of here. You see that banking transition. It's 33 degrees here, but it's flat on the front stretch. Almost, it feels like 0 degrees. The car just unloads right at that spot. And it happens to be the exact same spot that everybody is getting a huge run on the leaders. They've been following them all the way through these turns. They've been backing off because you don't want to push too hard in the turns. You get this huge run coming up at turn 4. And it's so easy to get into the guy in front of you just like that. You saw that was a square push. Doesn't matter. The car's just unloading right at that perfect spot. And these cars are such on edge to begin with that you hit them in that wrong spot, and that's the result. And unfortunately, I mean, nothing at all that the 19 could do there. Just a victim at that point as we see a pile up here on pit road. Looked like Zach Woods was trying to avoid a black flag there, maybe. And Christopher got into the back of him, it looked like. Quite a bit of damage on the back of that 6 car, but there's going to be quite a bit more on the nose of that 37 car. We'll have to keep an eye on him and see how long he has to pit. You see the 19 car getting into his pit there. He's going to have some damage to fix. Yeah, that's going to be detrimental to the nose of that 37 car if he doesn't get it fixed up. That's quite a bit of damage. And boy, knocked the rear end right off of that 6 car. That is amazing. Saw it was hard contact, but I didn't think it was quite that hard. And really, you would think, okay, that's the back of the car. How much is that really going to do? But speaking as a guy who accidentally wrecked somebody in a pretty big way very recently, these cars do not like to take a push if there's any damage at all to the back end. It's amazing and it's frustrating as a driver, but pretty remarkable to watch from the fan perspective and see You know, I talked about it, about keeping these cars pristine at the beginning part of this race, and just how critical that is. Any damage on the nose is going to slow your car down. You might be okay in the draft, you might not, but as soon as you poke your nose out of that draft, you're just going to be a parachute, and you can't take a push at all if you have any damage whatsoever to the back of your car. So nobody behind you is going to want to push. Everybody's going to want to get around you. It's just so detrimental to take any damage like that in this super speedway race. As we see some pretty clean cars here so far in the field. 46 car, glad to see him back up in the mix of it. Justin Evans on the lead lap in 6th position. Justin Sumner, of course, been real successful in the truck series this season. Adrian Torres, Scott Milliken, been doing real good in this race, and hopefully we get to see Princeton and Woods fix the damage on the back end of their car, and Lunsford fix the damage on the nose of his here, because all of those guys have been pretty competitive at various points tonight. Been a lot of fun to watch here as we see the lights still on in that pace car. Greg Wood gonna lead the field to the green here, as it looks like we will have one more lap to go. As we are on lap 36 here, it sounds like this was to extend the caution so that the stage could be allowed to end here. That's why the caution flag lights are still on in the pace car. Let's bring our in-race reporter, Matt Erickson, up here for a quick interview. Hey, Matt, it's Caleb up in the booth. You got me?
I do. How's it going?
Not as good as it's going for you, buddy. You've been putting on a show there, running 7th now, but you've had that thing out in the wind a lot in this race. How do you feel like the race is going so far for you?
So far, so good. We're just kind of trying to feel everything out and see what everybody's doing, and got some good teamwork going on. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about this second half.
Yeah, talk about that teamwork. How important is it to have guys that you can count on, guys that you're comfortable with here at the start of the new season in the draft when you got to get that run to get to the front?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, you know, you can get hung out to dry real quick, and if you don't have anybody pushing you or somebody to go with you when you switch lines, it makes a difference of going to the front or going to the back just as quick.
All right, Matt, we'll let you focus here under caution. Thanks for giving us a little bit of your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Matt Erickson. Been putting together a really good race there, and he can talk and do interviews while he's coming down pit road. How impressive is that guy? Looks like we're going to have Scott Milliken out here running in the lead. And the 37 car stayed out. Christopher Lunsford going to be lining up second. We will see very quickly here just how much that damage plays a role, how much of it he got repaired, and if it's enough to keep that thing in the wind. Well, now he's slowing down. I wonder, this must have had something to do with the pit strategy going on there, and some guys had to come down. Some guys came down pit road before they realized it was too late going to that stage, and some stayed out, so they're going to sort this out. Race Control's got his hands full right now. iRacing, you know, it's a great service. It's a great game if you want to call it a game. It's a great simulator if you want to call it a simulator. They do a lot of amazing things, but at the end of the day, if you want to run a league like this, it sure is nice to have a good RC up in the press box there for moments when a computer just can't tell you what's going on. So it looks like we will have Eddie and Blair back there on the front row to take the green flag for the second half of this race. Pace car lights are out as that pace car takes the hard left turn down pit lane into the restart zone. And a late restart there from Eddie Baker. May have been hoping to get more of a push from that bottom row, but he still just left everybody in the dust. And you see he has to react here. He's going to jump to the top side. That's really his only bet, but it's all dependent on the 17 car going with him, and he did. So for a moment, looking at the outside, he's thinking about it. Help is on the way, but it's not going to be here fast enough. The 17 jumps to the outside. He wants to put that car in the wind as they get squirrely behind him. They're touching the wall. We're 3 wide, and they're wrecking. And Eddie Baker's caught up in it. The 36 car is caught up in it. 3 wide on the back stretch, first lap after a restart, and you see exactly how that goes. As the 36 car is going to try to dive to the inside here. Luca just tried to, he gets such a run, he's got to go somewhere with it. He doesn't want to push the back of the 84. I've been in that situation before. He doesn't want to push the back of the 84 because he's afraid he's going to wreck him. Thinks he's clear after that big run, jumps up to cover and not clear. And that's how fast it can happen. And again, that all goes back to the restart. 36 car was hoping to, 84 car was hoping that he would get a big push from the bottom row and everybody could just stay in the line single file. He gets way out in front. He's got to jump up to the top to cover, got to jump down to the bottom, just trying to stay in the draft. You can go from the penthouse to the outhouse really, really fast in this race. As you see, that's about the grand summation of the cars that weren't caught up in this wreck. Again, that looked like at least 3 or 4 cars on top of who's already been in a wreck getting caught up in this one. And Eddie Baker's still in the pits right now, 36. Luca's still in the pits. Of course, we still got the 33 in the pits from that earlier wreck. You're going to see the 46 car, such a promising start to this race. And now no nose on this car. If anybody's had to fight through adversity, it's him. Same for the 16 car. 37 car, well, how do you fix the damage on the nose? You get rid of the nose entirely. Pull out the Sawzall, boys. A lot of cars missing noses in this one, and there you see the end result of the 84 car. And that left front tire, or excuse me, right front tire is, you know, there's camber and then there's camber. And that's probably a little bit too much camber. Looks like Zach Woods has actually fixed up maybe all of that damage to his rear end there. That's good to see. Hopefully that car will take a little bit better of a push. And that leaves the 17, the 1, the 67, the 28, and the 3 out as our top 5 drivers. Hey drivers, if you're looking to take your ride to the next level, whether it's iRacing paint schemes, liveries, or digital graphics, THDesigns has you covered with top-tier attention to detail and creative designs that make you stand out on the track. Who doesn't want to stand out on the track? THDesigns brings your vision to life. Don't settle for ordinary. Get a custom look that turns heads and wins races. Check them out today and get your car looking as fast as it drives. THDesigns, where champions get their colors, and we sure do appreciate those colors on our Tier 1 Arca Series logo here. THDesigns, big and bold in the top left of your screen there. As we get ready to cross the line for lap 40, pace light's still on in this car. And counting only about 9 or 10 cars that are still out here on the racetrack. Many of them already involved in wrecks tonight. Pace lights go out on the pace car. There's our buddy in the booth for next week. See that 9 car still crabbing a little bit. Maybe not quite as much as he was before. Yeah, it's a little better. We're getting there. Pit crew's doing a good job. They Taco Bell fueling that pit crew tonight. They got plenty of energy until they have to run to the Porta-John later to fix up the skew in that car. Well, fix it up a little bit. We still got a little ways to go here, but Mettler's going to get back with the, I believe he may be even on the lead lap here still. See if he can join up with the pack. Looks like the 37 car still got some damage on the nose of that Lunsford machine. Might be able to hang on to the back of this draft, but he's going to have to stay right in line. I guarantee you one thing, though, he won't have any overheating issues. So it's going to be Blair, Milnes on the front row to restart this race, coming to lap 42. Wood and Erickson behind them. Third row of Milliken and Sumner. As the pace car dives back onto the pits. And we get ready to go green here at Daytona. Good restart in the 17 car, and he'll get a big push here from Greg Wood. If they can keep it straight, they're going to have a big run on that one car. Oh, the 67 jumps to the outside. He's going to form up with his teammate there, Matt Erickson. And they're going to try to push this outside row. You should see these guys get a big run as we get to the backstretch. But the 3 and the 6 and the 19 are going to have a run here on the bottom. How hard does the 3 push the 17 car? As the 19 jumps out of line, he's looking to get back to the front. So far, it is all Nolan Milnes, high, wide, and handsome, and up front, keeping that number 1 car in the wind where it's been just about all night long. Greg Wood providing the push. How long does Greg stay in line there? Does he look to dive inside? His teammates clear right now? Well, maybe not so much anymore. They're going to stay in line and keep that outside moving. A lot of strong competitors in that outside line, to be sure. Guys that we've seen up front at the lead here. Oh, Greg is in the wall. That was a generous skim. That's going to slow him down. You see how much there. The 17 jumps to avoid him. The 3 car says, hey, choo-choo, boys, I'm coming through. And it takes all the way down the backstretch and into turn 3, turn 4 here for 67-1 finally to get hooked back up. As you see, the 3 jump to the outside. He said, hey, that outside line's working pretty well. I think I'll give it a try. But the 1 jumps to the inside. Not content to ride in second place. Even if it means waiting on the push, as the 19 is going to come up here. You see the 19 pit crew got that car looking good. He's going to try to jump. Oh, he's going to jump to the inside here. They are 3 wide on exit to turn 2. And a dive from the 94 car to the inside. Everybody's jumping ship now. 67 goes down low. He's going to pick up his teammate. They're spread out into turn 3. The 3 car stays up high. He's going to be looking for help to come from the outside, but it's going to be a long time coming through turn 4. Just not enough power in that 17 car. These ARCA cars leave a big wake, but they don't generate a ton of horsepower. Takes a long time to get these runs going. Not quite like running the Gen 4 car in these things. You got to plan your moves out well ahead of schedule, and Greg Wood and Matt Erickson have done just that. They've got those TTR Tier 1 cars out in the wind. Justin Sumner, a guy who's been lurking all race long, kept his car out of trouble. Just trying to stay in the frame there. Of course, this guy's showcased his talents many times so far this year with Tier 1 Racing League. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him in the frame here at the end of this race. But that lap goes to Greg Wood. as he controls the bottom line. Now that 3 car is going to get a little bit of help from the bubble of that 17. You don't always have to be right bumper to bumper in these cars. The 17 looks outside. He's going to hang the 3 out to dry. The 17, the 1, the 19, all blow past the 3 car. Milliken from the lead to 8th in half a lap. And the 17 car now controls the race as he jumps back to the outside. He's going to try to pick up the 1 car here. Excellent move by Greg Wood. A little moving and shaking, a little close for comfort here. Greg Wood led that lap. Matt Erickson's still with him on the bottom side, but now all the momentum's gone to the top side. And you've got 5 cars out there, your whole field basically. Everybody that's still with the draft is in frame here as you see Zach Woods jump down. Scott Milliken jumping down. And now the line is formed up on the bottom. Just 3 cars on the top side, but they will maintain the lead into the trioval here. As the 17 jumps ship. Leaves the 19 out to dry there, but the 6 is going to pick him up. And they're going to push that highlight again. Ebbs and flows throughout this race. As we get to 23 laps to go. The question we don't know the answer to is, will any of these guys have to pit again? They all pitted basically the same lap. You would think they're all about the same on fuel. Of course, guys like the 1 car and the 67 who've been leading a lot going to have a little bit less fuel than the rest of the field. Oh, and the 6 gets turned. Zach is drifting through the grass. Oh, hard impact. And that will bring out the yellow, and Zach Woods was giving it all he was worth trying to save that car, drift it through the grass. I was pulling for him. In the end, just couldn't get that thing wound up. Let's see how the push happened. Oh, and it's just off center a little bit. Just the least little bit. Greg got into him, sent Zach flying down through the grass. And there you see the final result. As he got that thing rolling off the pits, but that's going to be a lot of damage to repair in just 21 laps. And we'll take a break here and go side by side. You won't miss any of the action here on Tier 1 Studio. And welcome back to Daytona, here at the season kickoff of the THDesigns Arca series in the Tier 1 Racing League. We've just seen TTR do TTR things, woods and woods action, woods on woods crime, as Zach Woods spun off on the nose of the 67 car. Plenty of time in the pits in this race, though. That's one wonderful thing about a 2.5 mile long racetrack, and pace laps coming around, about 60 miles an hour or so. Gives you some time to fix that damage as much as you can in the pits. As we see a few guys coming in here, looks like the 67, the 94, and the 28 topping off. You'd expect they're going to try to make it to the finish line here on this stop, probably with 19 laps to go. It'll be 18 to go when we take the green flag here, as we see the pace lights turned out on the pace car. Hey Matt, it's Caleb up in the booth. You got me?
Got you, Caleb.
Sitting P7 on the field here. We've seen some exciting action tonight here from up in the booth. How's it been feeling here in the second half of this race?
It's definitely, business has picked up, that's for sure.
I know, we see you guys bouncing back and forth, top to bottom, three wide, two wide. Thought we were going to get four wide for a second there. Your buddy Zach is taking a little bit of damage. We talked about how important teammates are in this one. P7, what's the plan from here?
Stick with teammates as long as we can to get out front, and then last lap is put yourself in a spot to get a win.
Well, you've got experience doing that, so we'll let you go. Looking forward to the end of this race. Hope we're interviewing you, buddy.
Sounds good. Enjoy the show.
That's our in-race reporter, Matt Erickson. He has had a front row seat for all of this excitement in this race. You see, as a result of all those cars coming to top off with fuel, not many cars in the outside line. We're going to have a lot in the bottom. This should be a pretty interesting restart. As you see, Barney's got the flag in his hand. And we are green. The lights come on. The one car is away. It's Milnes, Milliken, Wood, Prinzen, and Blair to start out this restart. And they're already jumping and top to bottom, bottom to top. Greg Wood is going to be in the lead of this bottom pack. He will get a good push here from Justin Sumner when they get to the back stretch. But they're already basically only up to the tail of this top side here. It's going to take them at least to the end of this lap to get up to the front. And you see all these cars on the bottom ditching, going towards the top, trying to get with the fast line, trying to make some headway. But you will see the 67 starting to pull up here on the bottom, as he already, even with the 19 car on exit of 2 here. He'll get another push from the 94. With a 3 jump down, he will. But the one car leads that lap. He'll now have to regroup, fall back a little bit to the 19. He does get a push going into turn 2 here, but it's all Milliken and Woods up here in front, the 94, 28 behind them. There's our in-race reporter, already made his way up to 4th. And certainly looking to get more here as the bottom starts to prevail on this restart. And look at that, 6 car in 5th. Engine number 6. He's got moves like Mark Martin and a pit crew that apparently has a spare nose in behind the wall, because he's back out there and he's got his damage repaired. And he's up there 4th on the top side. As Woods continues to lead this, they make the move up top. And it's 3 TTR cars and a 94. Throwing sparks there, as you can see on screen up there, leading that top side. The 3 and the 17 going to get momentum here. Milliken, Blair trying to catch up on the bottom side, trying to get a little side draft. 16 to go. We're going to see these drivers get more and more and more brave with the pushes, more and more brave with the side drafts. As they're looking 3 wide, it's 3 wide out of turn 4. Sort it all out, 19 goes on by 3 jumps up. Everybody's good, but it's going to give the 17 a big run coming into turn 3 here, or turn 1, excuse me. Does a good job checking up. Not too bad of an accordion effect. And you see the front 3 cars have really separated themselves by a couple car lengths onto the backstretch here. Won't last long though, as the rest of this field just reels them back in. And that's modern day restrictor plate racing for you. You never do quite get spread out as much as you wish you were when you're the lead car. But it sure is nice to be back there in the pack and always have a shot at winning this thing as we come to 14 laps to go. The top 4 cars out front, a little blink back there in the field. 37 car still trying to get some of that damage repaired, but still keeping that thing in the draft pretty well. Not real tight, but hanging on to this front group. As you see a bobble there, and another bobble. Oh, that one car's getting some good pushes from that 19, but it sure looks sketchy. The 3's going to dive down on the inside. He's seen enough. He's going to jump in line with the 36 car. Will he stay down there? Will you see him jump up in front of the 1? Somebody is going to take this top side and move up in front of that 1 car, you would think, but nobody's decided to yet. Everybody's comfortable staying in line at the moment. Everybody except for the 1 car. And now you do see the 36 up there. Now he's going to jump back in line. Luca back to the outside. And you know, in his position, 1 lap down, you're trying to do anything you can. If you can find a way to get your lap back the hard way, you're absolutely going to do it. But sometimes you just have to do that right there and bail out and hope for the lucky dog. As you see, Greg Wood, Justin Sumner, Matt Erickson, Zach Woods still controlling this race. And again, 3 of those 4 cars' teammates doing exactly what they want to do with 1 lap to go. Unfortunately for them, we've still got 12 to go, and it's easier said than done to get there. As you see, the 1 and the 19 and the 36 still trying to get that outside lane moving here. But it's just hard to do, especially on that outside. Again, just a little bit further around the track when you don't have the numbers. The 17 car making it 3 wide. Zach Woods bails. He's going to professionally blend back up into the 33-degree banking turn. Making it look easy, but he did lose a ton of momentum there. We'll have to wait and see if he can manage to stay with this lead pack. Of course, the ways these guys are racing, that might be a blessing in disguise to lose the lead pack at this point in the race. But, as mentioned earlier, now 11 laps to go. That is 1 less teammate up in the mix for the 67 and the 28 here in this race. We see the lines neck and neck, the 1 and the 67 through turns 1 and 2. On to the back stretch, and you got to see that top line surge forward just a little bit, but Sumner giving Woods a great push down there on the bottom. They ought to be able to catch up here on exit of 4. And you see it right there. Everybody being careful not to push on exit of 4. I suspect it's not going to be that way for long, as they are again neck and neck on the front stretch here as they draw into turn 1. Still see cars bouncing all over the track there. I love that blue tape on the nose, that teal tape on the nose of the 28 car. Our in-race reporter here, Matt Erickson. Next time he jumps out of line, you'll see it there just a little bit. Oh, and he's sideways. Well, that's not how he wanted to see it. He hits the wall. Contact with the 36 there, turns the 28 car around. We're going to see it all here in our Tier 1 Studios replay. As Luca just, the window's open, and then it's closed. And around goes the 28 car. Kicks the 36 around. Great job by the 16 car there, dodging that. Adrian Torres did a really good job avoiding that wreck. You're going to see quite a bit of damage to the right rear of that 28 car. If he didn't damage the suspension too much, might be able to get that fixed up. I know there's only 8 laps to go, but as long as these caution laps are, you would think that's damage that can probably be fixed under this caution, if not entirely, at least for the most part. But again, you see that damage on the rear right there. If our man behind the curtain can go back to the 28 car there, you can't push a car with, I'm telling you, I just tried it this week. You can't push a car with damage on the rear end. It's just, you look at that and you think he's still got all this good bumper left, but that damage on the right rear, if you try to push that car at all, that back end is not stable. And it is so much easier to turn a car with damage on the rear end. So good for Matt that he's going to be able to come back in here and fix some of that damage. And like I say, I think he will be able to fix most of it. As we see the 67 come to pit lane here, 94's coming to pit lane. We got Lunsford, Woods, 28. Going to be interesting to see after this stop how much that damage 28 does get the repairs done on. And the race off of pit road, going to go to Greg. He will have the 94 back there with him again. Although starting on the outside, those two have been teaming up all race long, doing a great job leading and pushing. Be interested to seeing if they can get hooked back up here. So we take a look at Nolan Milnes. Of course, he has been up front, I would say at least a good 2/3, 3/4 of this race. Alex Princeton in that 19 car got his damage fixed from earlier in the race. See the 17 there. Air Blair. Blair's up there in the 17. Scott Milliken in the 3 car. Here's the cars that pit. Greg Wood Jr., the pride of Hagerstown, Maryland. Justin Sumner, Twin City, Georgia up there. You see Zach Woods. Zach got his damage repaired, and here is the 28 car. Matt Erickson, our in-race reporter. Look at that 9 car. The other Matt in this field. It's your mom's favorite driver, Matt Mettler. He's got, looks like a lot more of his damage repaired, I should say. Adrian Torres there, sitting in 11th spot. Looks like a lap or 2 down. Pace light's still on the pace car, so we'll get at least 1 more lap around. AdminBoxx is built by iRacers for iRacers for use in league and hosted races. The goal, to make race control as easy as possible. We all know how important that is these days. Each AdminBoxx connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands, no key binding, for race control. The AdminBoxx community is made up of more than 150 leagues and many members that we all have a common mission to run nice, clean races and help each other out. And at the end of the day, that's I think that's just about what everybody wants. Running the league races in iRacing. 6 laps to go as the pace lights are out on the iRacing pace car. Coming out of the exit of turn 2 here. Going to have a 5 to go shootout here as we take the green flag. And should be plenty of time for maybe every single one of these drivers up in this pack to lead a lap. These guys are going to be moving and shaking. You're going to see more aggressive moves probably than you've seen all race. Although the aggression knob has been turned pretty high so far in this race. I think they're about to crank at 11. Whenever we get the green flag here. Of course, what does Nolan Milnes do here? He's got the 17 car behind him. He tried to get a good restart. He tried to go late in the restart zone, that one restart, and we saw that eventually lead to a crash on the backstretch and into turn 3. So what's the strategy here coming to the Geico restart zone? Pace car is off. And we are green with 5 to go at Daytona. What a push from Greg Wood Jr. And he gets the 17 and the 1 out in front. They're going to jump high and hang Greg out to dry. But it's the Wood and Woods show. Down on the bottom line, 28 in line with them. TTR trying to get all lined up. And what a the 94 dives low. The 3 makes a late move. He's down at the bottom. He's got the lead at the bottom line. They're going to surge ahead here. 17 ditches the 1 and the 19. 17 wants the lead. Going to have a huge run into 3 here. Does the 3 car push? No, he goes to the outside. Side draft the 17 car. Take it high off of turn 4. They're side by side, beating and banging at 190 miles an hour as they go 3 wide through the sketchiest part of the track. And just like that, Milliken drops back to 7th, 8th position, leading just a mile before 1 car and the 19 car losing track in that top line. They're going to try to get some help up there. Nobody's coming. Oh, and the 1 car's in the wall. Aggressive pushing the 19 and the 1. Trying to catch up there with 4 laps to go. And you see the result. As we go back and look here in the replay, you see the 19 even pushing up on the high side through the turns. And it works until you get off center just a little bit right there. You see him get turned on the second hit. But the second hit is not where that wreck started. The wreck started right back here. You see the 19, he's square. The 1 drifts up just a little bit. Nothing you can do at that point. You're already on his bumper. Push him on the left side, and that right there, it's all over. Once that car gets that sideways, the 19 has no hope of slowing down in time. Slamming on the brakes, he's still not going to get slowed down in time. And you see, oh yeah, that right front, that's going to be some significant suspension damage. And the 1 car there, Nolan Milnes, who spent, nearly the entire race up front, put on a clinic of how to lead here at Daytona. You see those tires towed out, the nose missing on that car, rear end damage. That's going to be a lot of time spent in the pits. As we go to the Taco Bell machine, who's driving that thing? Matt Metler? Can you believe he got all that damage straightened out? That car, back on the lead lap, she's still grabbing a little bit. That's just side force. That thing will run just fine. He'll get that thing out in the wind here pretty soon. Riding back on the lead lap here in 10th place for Matt Metler. Going to be bringing you the race live next week from USA. And he will get, he's getting the lucky dog down. So I think now he's on the lead lap. Jumped the gun there a little bit, Matt. I was excited for you. As we see, pace lights still on. So we will have at least one more lap around. Racing fans, are you ready for the ultimate iRacing experience? Look no further than Tier 1 Studio. Covering all the action from Tier 1 Racing League. We'll bring you every race, every series, and every intense battle on the track. Whether it's the Xfinity Series, ARCA, trucks, or special events, if it's happening in Tier 1 Racing, you'll find it live right here on Tier 1 Studio. Don't miss a second of the action. Tune in, subscribe, and share. I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job as a YouTuber if I didn't say, hit the little bell, because it'll notify you and do the things. Coming to one to go here, I believe, under caution. Looks like a very similar cast of characters up there at the front. Going to be Blair leading this. Sumner on the outside. Greg Wood Jr. looks like he'll be lining up third, and Zach Woods fourth. In race reporter there, Matt Erickson. Going to be starting fifth, and Scott Milliken. He's gone to the back, to the front, to the back, to the front again about half a dozen times or more just here in the last 10 laps. And he's going to be starting within earshot of the lead. Look for him to make some noise here on this one. Alex Princeton, he had some damage earlier on in this race. He's got that car fixed up. That 19 car going to be restarting 7th. So we see Matt Mettler back on pit road again. Looking like he's still going to get that damage repaired. 37 car, the nose has reappeared. Looks like they reattached the old one for Chris Lunsford. You know, sometimes it takes those safety workers in them trucks a while to drive around track, get that nose up off the track and take it over to the pits. That must have been what was going on for Chris over there. Still some damage on the nose, but she'll be a lot happier in the draft with the nose on the front of that thing. As we come to 2 to go, I don't believe this will technically be a green-white checkered restart, but it will be a 2-lap shootout here. Pace lights go off on the pace car. Coming around the backstretch chicane. One driver that we've seen not just all night long, but really for the past couple seasons has been one of the best pushers on restarts is that 67 car, last night's winner in the Tier 1 Truck Series, Greg Wood Jr. And you would expect to see that again. I think Greg's motto on restarts is, you don't decide when you go, I decide when you go. As he pulls right up on the bumper of that 17 car. And the king of restarts, the number 6. Second row outside, going to be pushing the 19 car as the pace car dives onto pit road. Maybe for the last time in this race, maybe not. And we are green at Daytona. Good push from the 67. 94 jumps out in front. Leaves a little gap between himself and the 6. But that top line's going to form back up. Bottom line working good. But you see Zach Woods back on the bumper of that 94 car. Damage on the 6 car is fixed up. Oh, they're sideways. 17 car saves it, but it's going to blow up the whole bottom line. They're 3 wide. 94 is going to get a huge lead here. 6 car, 3's got to run. Mettler pushing the 3 car. And it's a 3 car breakaway. The 17 going to jump in here. Does he stay in line? Does he go outside? No, it's the 9 jumping outside. Mettler. And they're wrecking in the tri-oval here. as we come to the white flag. Are they going to stay green? They took the white flag before the caution can come out. Next flag will end this race. And it is Justin Sumner in the lead. Zach Woods second, Scott Milliken third. As the 17 jumps to the outside. Will he draw even, getting help from that 19 car? Where's the push? Just the two of them. Oh, the 6 car is sideways. They're wrecking behind. 94, no help. 17 and the 19 gonna settle it amongst themselves. They're beating, they're banging. The 19's under the stripe. The 17 is there. Victory for the 17R of Blair. What a finish here at Daytona as they sort that out. But your top three, the 17, the 19, and the 94. And we have a lot to sort through. I think at least 2, maybe 3 wrecks there in the last 2 laps. There's the first one, and that's going to be Greg Wood and our in-race reporter Matt Erickson getting together there. And that was wild. The 6 car, you see the damage on the nose of that 6 car there. I wonder if that was just from Zach pushing the absolute daylights out of the 94 car there. That was wild. I mean, his car looked great coming to the green flag. I don't know if he just got in the 94 way too hard there or what happened. But that damage absolutely affected the outcome of this race, and you see him bumping and banging there. Coming to the checkered flag. We're going to go side by side. We'll be right back after a break, and we will interview our top 3 here on the Tier 1 studio. Welcome back to Daytona. We just saw an absolutely outstanding finish to start off the THDesigns Arca series here in Tier 1 Racing League. Now we're going to interview our top three here for tonight's race. Justin Sumner, going to pull him up into the booth here. Third place finisher, Justin Sumner. You got us in the booth, bud?
That I do.
Man, you had played that race perfectly all the way up to the white flag, and I thought surely this 94 is going to ride like just right outside the lead all race long and then surprise everybody. Describe the finish of that race for us.
It was deflating. Zach had his up and downs all night, and he was there to push me, and we was trying to get clear. We just couldn't get clear, and I think he just had no air on his nose, so he got loose. And without his help, yeah, I just couldn't do anything. Lost the draft, tried to side draft, couldn't do anything. So, but kudos to the guys up front. Kudos to Zach and Matt and Greg working with me a little bit there at the end and staying with me all race. We had a good plan. It just kind of fell apart last few laps.
Yeah, we were kind of, as we're looking at the replay here and talking to you, we were kind of wondering what happened with Zach because he had some damage on the nose there. But as he came off of you, it looked like he was pushing you great through the turns and then just got that damage as he hit the splitter on the apron. But nature of super speedway racing, of course, not your first rodeo here in the Tier 1 Racing League. Starting the new series here, new season of the ARCA series here. With the season that you've had going on the truck series, what's this kind of do for you momentum-wise? Does it affect how your season's looking at all, or what's your outlook heading into the rest of this year?
Well, I need as many points as I can. There's a couple weeks I may have to miss, so if I can get good finishes every week, then that'll help me out. But definitely a top three at Daytona at a plate track that's definitely a good way to start off the season. So we'll see how we go in the other races. I know we got a short track next week, so I'm looking forward to that, seeing how we do there. But yeah, just anytime you can start off a season and hit the ground running with a good finish, then that's definitely the way to go.
I'm with you there. Well, you got anybody you want to thank on that 94 car before we let you go?
Yeah, sure. Thank my teammates, Black Car Mafia, Amanda Made, Custom Designs, Sambo's, just everybody that makes it possible to me to run. Like I said, I appreciate the Titletown guys working with me tonight, and appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast. Really means a lot, and just appreciate it.
We appreciate you. We're looking forward to racing with you next week, and I'm glad the TTR guys didn't do TTR guy things to you.
Well, we have to pick at Zach a little bit for going under the into the pit before he's supposed to. So, got to take a jab at him next time he's in the booth.
That's true. We'll take every jab we can at Zach. All right. Talk to you next week, Justin. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Caleb.
That's our third place finisher there, Justin Sumner. We're going to drag our second place finisher, Alex Prinzen, up into the booth, the 19 car. Alex, it's Caleb up in the booth. You got me.
Hey, Caleb, how's it going?
Well, not as good as it's going for you. It looks like that was a heck of an exciting finish there, and you really put on a show. What did that play out almost how you expected it to, coming to the checkered there, or run us through that last restart?
First, I just got a quick say sorry to Nolan. He got a little squirrely, and I kind of turned him into the wall there with about 5 to go. It was me, him, and I were ride and die to the end. We were both wicked fast, and I was hoping to get him the win or me. But congrats to Blair, he did an awesome job. But yeah, it almost went as planned. I had an opening there, and I was trying to watch the yellow line, and yeah, came up just short, but it was a great night, a lot of fun.
Well, it's a great way to start out this season here, the THDesigns Arca series. What's this do for you the rest of the season? Is this was this a track you were looking forward to or dreading, or is there one that you're looking forward to down the pike?
I used to love this track back in the Gen 6, so this car really suits my style of racing. So I look forward to super speedways. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss next week for a business trip, but hopefully we can come back the rest of the season after that. This definitely sets it up good.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you the rest of the season and watching you continue to put on a show like you did tonight. You got anybody you want to thank on that 19 car before we let you go?
I just got to thank Selkirk Pickleball and Caribou Coffee and all the people that help me run weekly in different series. I appreciate them. And thanks everyone for putting on this great league.
All right. Thanks, Ellen. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care.
Alex Princeton, the driver of the 19 car there, and second place finisher. Of course, the guy that he was pushing and shoving to, coming to the checkered flag. And we'll drag our winner into this race. Blair Roussel, the winner of the season opener. Blair, you got a copy? I believe Blair is muted.
Hey, you got me?
There we got you. Hey, good race tonight. Can you talk us through the winning strategy to come out first in what had to be an exciting one from your seat?
Well, the super speedways are a tough one. I always think to finish first you got to finish. So we were trying to mind our own business for most of the race. A lot of times we caught ourselves up front, which wasn't the greatest thing. I guess the wrecks were behind us, so it worked in our favor. Towards the end, it was just it was your own game. Make your own moves, pull your own runs off, and see how you finish. Tonight it worked really well. I'm unsure about the last lap, how we passed or defended the pass. We kind of pushed him below the yellow, but we gave him room, so it seems to be a fair play, and I'm glad it all worked out for us in the end.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. If you were expecting Alex to dive down to the inside like that, if you had kind of intentionally left that as a trap for him, or if you were surprised as we were.
Oh no, it's he's gonna go for it, and when you're against the wall, there's only one place to go, is to the line. He dove down there a little bit too aggressively, so I was able to take advantage of that and keep him pinned to the line in case he were to advance his position. It would have been under review. So I'm glad I was able to think quickly in that situation.
Well, you nailed the season opener. Is this a sign of things to come from that 17R car, or are there races you're concerned about, or what are you thinking looking forward to the rest of the season?
It just gives us good momentum going into the season. I mean, it's the first race. There's a lot of events that can happen from here on out. We can gain or lose a lot of ground. So I think the super speedway is just a how you doing? Give everyone a meet and greet, see how everyone's going to race against each other. I don't think it really determines anything in the long run.
Well, that was an excellent how do you do. You got anybody you want to thank on that 17R car before we let you go?
I'd like to thank everyone that shows up, all the people that put this league together at Tier 1 and the broadcasting team who make it enjoyable.
All right. Well, I'm going to make sure I get this right. You correct me if I'm wrong. Blair Roussel?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Blair Roussel, winner of our opening race in the THDesigns Arca series. Great job, Blair. We'll let you go and look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
And that was Blair Roussel, the winner of tonight's race. 70. We did get it done in regulation there, I believe. 70 of some really exciting laps, probably a little bit more even than I reckoned on here to start this season out in the THDesigns Arca series in a Tier 1 racing league. It's all presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow, next week. Here's our finishing orders. We glance over it. Of course, we talked to our top three. We got Blair, Alex, and Justin on the podium. Scott Milliken, man, got to compliment him. He did a great job kind of keeping his nose out of trouble, coming home in the top 5 there in 4th. Zach Woods, of course, got a little squirrely, but brought it home top 5. Greg Wood Jr. coming up 6th. Christopher Lunsford 7th. 8th going to Nolan Milnes. Our in-race reporter, Matt Erickson. We didn't curse him too bad, I hope. Coming home 9th in this one. Next week's broadcaster, Matt Metler, brought that Taco Bell car home sideways and across the line for a top 10. Good job by him. Adrian Torres, Turcotte Luca, Justin Evans, Eddie Baker, Ken Ron, Thomas Adams, Bill Sleep, and Gary Smith finishing out the top 18 here in this race. We'll talk to you same time, same place here on Tier 1 Studio next week, and hopefully going to be mixing it up down there with the guys and letting Matt call the action. I hope that show is as exciting as this one. Until then, for myself, Caleb Collins, the wizard behind the curtain, Brett Bullard in the booth there, have a great night.